Howdy, folks. I hope everyone is doing well today. And today we're taking a look at Legal Mindset's recent video about Piker. Uh, it's titled "The Feds Just Subpoenaed Hasan Piker: The Legal Reality," with Legal Mindset. Um, so, personally, I am not a fan of this troglodyte here. I'm sorry. I'm just not. He, yeah, I mean, anybody who supports terrorists, it's not a good look, in my opinion. Now, I mean, of course, you're free to live how you want, think how you want. But yeah, why would anybody, any free thinker, support terrorism? Just doesn't make any sense. And he got subpoenaed by the federal government for his involvement with Code Pink, which I believe is the organization that covered like his travel expenses to Cuba, and supposedly they sent some aid to the Cuban government distinct from the Cuban people. The Cuban people cannot stand Raul Castro, and they are overjoyed that we have indicted him. And it's only a matter of time before we have him in custody, I think. Let's be real. But anyway, Legal Mindset has done all of his homework and is here to tell us about his expertise from the legal perspective. From my perspective, I am not, nor have I ever been, an attorney or engaged in the practice of law in any capacity whatsoever. These are just my opinions as a layman. But with that out of the way, let's get into it.
Hasan Piker is now under federal investigation, and this time the penalties can be very serious. We're going to today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. Now, Hasan Piker is no stranger to controversy and potentially filming his crimes live.
Kaya, please just just stop.
Now this...
Yeah, he's got an absolutely gorgeous dog named Kaya, whom he is very, very abusive to. Uses high voltage. Well, I don't know if they're high voltage or not. I'll be honest. But uses some type of shock collar, and that's why you could see in that clip her just yelping. Which I'm a little confused. He claims to be a Muslim, but if I'm not mistaken, dogs are considered haram in Muslim. Well, in the Muslim faith. I think we're going to find out in this video that Hasan is a man of many contradictions.
This time it's not for Collargate, but this time it's for something serious, as the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, or OFAC, is probing into his participation in a March 2026 activist trip to Cuba. He was part of the Nuestra America convoy, which was deemed as a humanitarian aid convoy, but involved many activists, many of which, in fact, advocate for violating U.S. law.
Well, it's not just that, but the Cuban government, the Castro regime in Cuba, they're not very friendly to Americans in general. And again, this is the Cuban government distinct from the Cuban people. They are not one and the same. When Hasan went over there with his entourage, he stayed in one of the only hotels that had power. He had Wi-Fi access. He was able to still record his content, no problem. The fucking Cuban government rolled out the red carpet for him. It was disgusting. And in fact, I think I remember seeing a very short clip where someone was standing outside his hotel recording all the other buildings around it completely dark, absolutely no power at all. The hotel Hasan is staying in lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. And then meanwhile, I believe the month following, you've got Nick Shirley, who went through all the proper channels, went in a journalistic capacity, which, if you don't know, communism, they don't like free speech. And journalism is like kind of falls under that category. The Castro regime was concerned about someone like Nick Shirley exposing the truth behind their government. But communism is so great. Yeah, Hasan loves communism so much that he's made millions as a capitalist. Go figure.
We're with Morid, and he is a Palestinian currently studying for free.
Here in Palestine and Cuba, things
I wonder if he even knows where Palestine is on the map.
are all too similar. Both our peoples are living the same thing. Because of the same enemy, I am ready to be on the battlefield, for my people to support them on the front lines.
And the alleged issue says, essentially boils down to, did he violate official U.S. sanctions in his trip to Cuba? Now, we're going to get into those very specific and very, very serious allegations, but first, I have a very important message.
Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and body image issues, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits.
I'm sure this is probably an ad for him, and so I do apologize for pausing in the middle of it. But one thing that I have been an advocate for since I started doing my YouTube videos and streaming is mental health. Guys, if you are not sure about your mental health, I encourage you, please seek help. It's so very important for you to take care of your own mental health, and the first step in doing that is acknowledging whether or not you have those kinds of issues and actively seeking help. Please, 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 guys, take care of your mind. Take care of your mental health. Don't fall victim to the voices. Okay, don't do the enemy any favors. Please, take care of your mental health.
Recent historic verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles, you should hear this. Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm they caused. You can use the link in my description or scan the QR code to take a short quiz to see if you qualify for a case. You may be entitled to a potential recovery of over $1,000.
Okay,
Nice.
so the laws that are at play here involve whether or not he was dealing in transactions that are prohibited with Cuba. So that could be financing, coordinating, or delivering goods he shouldn't have, staying at or transacting with Cuban government-owned or controlled entities. There's a list of hotels that are prohibited and where you cannot stay in Cuba. There's also other things you're not supposed to be doing while you're there. And the problem with Hasan and many live streamers is that they want to openly brag about committing crimes. In fact, Hasan Piker has encouraged people to commit theft.
I'm pro stealing from big corporations. Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah, he promotes theft, especially if it's from like a big corporation. Okay, understand this is the communistic mentality of redistribution of wealth. Can we just take a fucking moment to acknowledge the hypocrisy there? How come he doesn't redistribute all his wealth to his orbiters and his fans? Divide it up evenly among all of them. Live like a pauper, like you think you actually do, but you don't. The disingenuousness of it all irks me. I can't stand it.
pro piracy all the way, like across the board. We gotta get back to cool crimes like that, like, you know, bank robberies. Chaos, full chaos. Let's go. I mean, look,
So what OFAC has done here is they've requested information. So they've sought out more information to do a review of this activist trip and any particular foreign influence or sanctions evasion that might have. Now, while there are no criminal charges yet, the penalties for this can be very serious, and Hasan Piker indeed is scared.
is not great. Okay? They're after your boy. We will free you, brother. Yeah, free me. Free me.
Yeah, if you try to free him from federal custody, you will go to federal prison for a very long time. You know what? Actually, yeah, try it. Go ahead, try it. Try to free him.
Free me. I can't believe I'm saying that.
So the potential penalties here can actually stack up. This is under the Cuban Assets Controls and Regulations Act, which is
And I'm sure he's probably going to get into it shortly, but if I'm not mistaken, this has to do with our embargo against Cuba, which has been in place since the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Enforced via the International Emergency Economics Power Act, the IEEPA. So there's two sides to this, a civil side and a criminal side. On the civil side, the penalties can be up to $91,000 per violation. So the issue is here, if you go on one of these trips, let's say you're out there on a long trip and you're doing multiple things, especially if you're live streaming, once again, being your own star witness, you might violate several of these provisions. So maybe you're bringing in or transacting with goods you're not supposed to bring in or you're not supposed to buy. Maybe you're staying at a hotel you're not supposed to stay at, or something that's linked to the Cuban government and prohibited. So you may have multiple transactions, so that 91K can stack up against you. And that is indeed the lowest level. But on the highest level, for willfully doing these things, for going out and saying, yep, I did it, who cares, so what, and bragging about it, which many of these influencers actually go out and do, you can have fines for up to $1 million on the corporate side. For most individuals, about $250,000, 250K on the individual side. But you can also face imprisonment for up to 10 years. So there is actual real prison time that can be behind willful violation.
So as much as $1 million per willful violation, as well as potentially up to 10 years. As much as I would love to see it happen for the kind of stuff that he's done, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen, just because he has money, he has political backers. They're going to try to prop him up. They're going to try to protect him, and yeah, I don't personally see it happening.
Now, it's very clear that this has not been pressed yet, but it's still on the table. Now, in practical cases, when we look at these things, most of these violations for first-timers or non-egregious offenses are typically civil penalties. So they'll typically slap them with some sort of fine. So it might be a 10, 20, 30, 40K fine. Once again, up to 91K. These things...
That's not what I want to see happen at all. I mean, like I said, realistically, are they going to throw the book at him? Probably not, because he's got obviously political backers and whatnot. But if we made an example of him, specifically speaking, the Trump administration, if they came out and put pressure on OFAC, hey, this guy is a menace, we need to draw attention to it, we need to put him on blast, and we need to send a message that this shit is not going to fly. Zero tolerance. That's what we need. Will we get it? Again, unfortunately, probably not.
Can add up. Hasan Piker's got money, but if you hit him with a couple of these, I mean, that's a dent in his Labubu budget. Now, we're going to see where this actually plays out, but where I see this happening and being a problem with Piker, whether or not he gets into any problem here, is to look at his pattern of behavior of encouraging criminality, encouraging breaking the law. It's only a matter of a time till somebody is motivated enough to get him on camera saying something and actually punish him. He's gotten away with many of his crimes because they've been local crimes. The local California PD is not that motivated.
Well, that's not... What was I going to say? So, he has broadcasted himself saying, quote, "Let the streets run red with their capitalist blood." Straight up calling for violence against capitalists. Now, obviously, that's not a direct threat against any one person, but rather an ideology. I personally would argue it could be encouraging violence towards people who are capitalistic. Not naming any names, but I just want to take a second to point out that President Trump is a capitalist. Pretty much his entire cabinet are capitalists.
motivated. Many of them are probably politically aligned with Piker, so they might agree with him on other issues and therefore not want to prosecute him. So he's got.
By the way, just to be clear, if you disagree with my points of view, that's fine. We don't have to agree as long as we can agree to disagree without any violence. I don't tolerate political violence on either side of the aisle. The thing is, when you look at historically, I mean, Trump has been shot at no fewer than 3 times. I've heard, but have not done my own research, that supposedly there have been 2 other attempts to poison him. And Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And this whole idea of, we got to tone down the rhetoric. Well, it's funny. It only seems to be the left that's shooting right now. And to be clear, the only type of violence that I endorse is in self-defense, meaning if somebody makes a threat on your life or attacks you with a weapon, yes, get violent with them. Other than that, if they're just saying things that you don't like, agree to disagree.
Gotten away with a lot, but the feds are not necessarily going to fall into that camp, and they might look at this and say, no, this is an on-your-face violation here, and actually hold him to task. And I cannot wait till the day comes that Hasan Piker actually reaps some of what he's sown, because once again, he has openly encouraged criminality time and time again.
Yes.
But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with him there. Again, that was the latest video from Legal Mindset. He is an attorney, and I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to him here. Guys, if you've watched to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. I know it's a little bit of a shorter one, but one that I wanted to touch on because this has a lot to do with my own personal beliefs, and I do believe a lot of my viewership feels the same way. Thank you guys so much for all the support, for watching my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And y'all have a good day. Bye.